What is going on, everybody? Thammagotcha here, and welcome into another video. We're going to be hopping into the Great League in these battles with Shadow Charizard being the key star on this team, an ABB lineup with Victory Bell on the lead, Skeleturge as your safe swap, and Charizard as the sweeper. Charizard being one of my favorite Pokemons in this game, and Skeleturge is close behind it. I want to take a minute here to thank every single one of you for hitting that subscribe button. We hit 1,500 subscribers. I am so thankful. It's greatly appreciated. But hey, if you haven't hit that subscribe button and you would like to join the team, it is greatly appreciated and it really helps out the channel. So let's hop into this matchup here for this ABB style lineup: Victory Bell, Shadow Charizard, and Skeleturge. So hopping into the matchups here, I started out this team as kind of like a fun playthrough where I wanted to really make a Shadow Charizard shine, and it worked out very well for me, going on a pretty good run with it and climbing all the way back into a legend ranking video. So my opponent makes a big mistake. I decided to go for good timing, and they were gonna throw right as I got to my move, but they allowed us to sneak a full magical leaf. That's a lot of energy gain for the Victory Bell, and then they decided to hard swap into this Dewgong, which is quite fine by me. Skeleturge is going to have a great matchup here. Even when they decide to bait for the Icy Wind, I'm going to call that now. This is the drill run here, and from here I can just farm all the way down and have so much loaded energy coming out of this matchup. But in comes a Bastiodon, and this is pretty scary because Bastiodon is gonna eat the Shadow Charizard alive, and thanks to the Icy Wind, these Shadow Balls are not doing enough damage. So definitely this thing would have been deep in the yellow if we would have got both Shadow Balls at full power off. But it is what it is. We're gonna come in with the Victory Ball. Hopefully I can make it to one more Leap Blade, and we cannot. Oh, that is super rough. I'm gonna shield up the Stone Edge, as that would definitely one-shot us here. I'm gonna farm up, try to get to the Blast Burn, but they decide to swap into Annihilate, and I make a crucial mistake here. I only go to 4 wing attacks. I should go to 5 wing attacks here, which would allow me to win the CMP tie, take out the Annihilate, and potentially get to the Blast Burn to knock out the Bastiodon. But it is what it is. That's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. So next matchup, great lead. They hop into a Ferrothorn. Even better for us. We are going to incinerate down this grass steel type. Double super effective coming in. And if they want to come back in with the Whiscash, we have some loaded energy for them. 4 incinerates to knock out the Ferrothorn. Didn't even get in the max, but it is what it is. So we're going to throw one more incinerate, throw our Shadow Ball, and then the Disarming Voice. I didn't want to throw another incinerate just in case they decided to throw the Mud Bomb to knock us out, and I wanted to get my energy off. So now we decide to come into the Victory Bell, and they hard pivot into a Mandibuzz. Okay, I'm gonna throw the Sludge Bomb just to get this thing into a range where wing attacks plus 1 Dragon Claw is gonna knock out 2-2 shields. We should be able to outpace the 3 Dragon Claws, but what I have to watch for is so many charge moves being thrown that the Switch Claw timer is gonna be available for my opponent. So another Dragon Claw going to be coming in. That's going to get shielded, and I have to make sure to watch for the swap. I have to shield here or else we're going to get taken out, and I think they're gonna, oh my gosh, never mind. I let it go through, and I attempt a very aggressive magical leaf resisted farm down. I totally forgot about this. We have the Leap Blade locked and loaded. Victory Bell gets there, the absolute goat, and that's going to be a good game. Well played. I think if I let that go, or if I shielded that, they would have hard pivoted back into the Whiscash and potentially taken us out there. So I think the win con was magical leap down and take the game from there. So great lead in the next match. They decide to hop into a Wigglytuff, which is perfectly fine by me. I'm going to throw 4 Incinerates and then my Disarming Voice. Disarming Voice going to put them into a range where I can double Incinerate down. All they can really do is throw a resisted move, so I'm not going to shield here. There is really no point at all, considering that Lantern is going to be coming back in. The unfortunate part is it's debuffed energy, but any damage is good damage against this Lantern. Second Shadow Ball going to be coming through. This is going to put them pretty deep into the yellow, or the red, even better, which is going to allow Victory Bell to come in, do a couple of magical leaves, and take out this Lantern, which is the biggest counter to a Charizard. I'm assuming they're going to hard pivot. That's why I swap into my Charizard right away, which allows me to get to my moves just a little bit faster. We are not a turn behind, so I'm gonna make sure to throw on proper move timing, 1, 4, or 7 to for a 2 versus 3 turn fast move. And you really want to throw on proper move timing. You don't want to allow your opponent to sneak a full snarl through, as that is just a boatload of energy. I'm going straight blast burn here, just in case my opponent decides to call a bait. That would be my lose con, and I know I can outpace to 3 blast burns before they make it to a move, and they decide to hard pivot back into the lantern, kind of calling that they needed to do that. So I bring in the victory bell, we get the magical leaf farm down. Back in comes these Mandibuzz. We get the sludge bombed off, putting them into Dragon Claw range, and all I have to do is tap the Dragon Claw to win this game, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent there. Kind of tight in the end game. If I didn't make that call right where they were going to swap, then they could have won that game, but it is what it is. Dragonair lead. This is a very terrible lead for this team. I'm going to farm up 5 magical leaves and then throw the leap blade on the CMP tie. I did not know Victory Bell beat Dragonair. That is a news flash to me. So I tried to catch the body slam onto my Skeletor here, but no such luck, as again, that was a CMP tie. They hop into their lantern. Now you think this might be a very terrible matchup for the Skeletor, but look at how much the Shadow Ball does. Now what this does also is it potentially sets up my Victory Ball for a pretty massive farm down, which in return allows me to get energy coming out of this matchup. Now when I have energy coming out of this matchup, which is great for me, I can either threaten a shield or get this Dragonair low enough where I can come in now with my Charizard, get the full farm down. But what do you know, it's a Magneton back there. Unfortunately, we are definitely going to be losing this game because Magneton is going to fully volt switch us down, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent there. So hopping into the next matchup, another great lead. Victory Bell into Whiscash. They hop into a Clodsire, and I don't really have the greatest response to this. So what I'm going to do here is throw the Leap Blade, hop into my Skeletor, and hopefully we can make some magic happen. Gonna no shield the first one. Stone Edge is gonna do a whole lot of damage, but Earthquake definitely probably would have one-shot us. So what I'm gonna do is farm up 2 more Incinerates, throw the Disarming Voice, hoping that this is gonna be enough to knock out, which it isn't, and we do not get any more moves. So I'm gonna have to come back in with the Victory Bell. Hopefully I can get a Magical Leaf farm down before they get to another move. But we'll have to see what happens here. No, they had so much energy farming down. I know that this is just a Stone Edge, but I decided to hard pivot into my Charizard, and my opponent comes in with the Skarmory. Why on earth would you not come in with the Whiscash? I don't know. Big mistake by my opponent, but that's going to allow me to take this game for sure, as this Blast Bird is going to put this deep into the yellow. Resisted damage? I think not. We're going to have to let this move go through. Scald is going to do a massive amount of damage, but all I have to do is bring in the Victory Ball, get the full farm down, have almost back-to-back Leap Blades locked and loaded for that Clodsire when it wants to come back in. But that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. So hopping into the next matchup here. Victory Bell into Sableye. Pretty neutral matchup. Foul play is going to hurt a boat ton, and I don't really want to swap out of this matchup because Skeletor is going to be taking a boatload of damage, and Charizard with the Shadow Claw is going to be taking a boatload of damage. So they decide to hard pivot into a Venusaur, which I'm completely fine with. Venusaur gets hard walled by all Skeletor hard walls Venusaur, and we get the full Incinerate farm down. If they want to bring back in that Sableye, I got 2 Disarming Voices locked and loaded for it, but my opponent wants nothing to do with that. So again, that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent, and a nice 4-1 set there. So hopping into the next matchup here, Victory Bell into Bastiodon. Now I'm assuming there's going to be a Wigglytuff back there, and I'm also assuming there is going to be a Victory Bell back there, considering this is the most common line you're going to see with the Bastiodon lead. Victory Bell, Charm, and Bastiodon. So it is what it is. We're going to shield up the Flamethrower. They are going to catch on the Tropius, which is super unfortunate for me. So what I have to do here now is bank another double Leap Blade, come in with my Skeletor. Hopefully I get the full farm down before they make it to double Aerial Ace. Yeah, we do get the full hold. We don't get the full farm down, but they bait us with the Leap Blade. That is super unfortunate. But the good thing is I have a lot of loaded energy coming into this matchup, and they don't sneak the Smackdown through, which is kind of unfortunate for my opponent. It really wouldn't have mattered anyways. I would have made the other Shadow Ball. But again, I'm gonna hard pivot back into my Victory Bell, throw the Leap Blade. I don't throw my second Leap Blade right away just because I thought they were gonna swap. So what I'm gonna do, hop into the Skeleturge, eat the move, and then come in with my Charizard, get the wing attack farm down, and there's the Victory Bell. And we're gonna get to this Blast Burn. Blast Burn is gonna knock out the Victory Bell, and that's gonna be a good game. Well played to my opponent there. Left, right, good night. So Bastion double Razor Leaf. I call it the grass hole team. Well, I mean, it is what it is, right? So hopping into the next matchup, Victory Bell into Mantine. This is a very difficult Pokemon to deal with. The water subtyping just destroys my backline, and the flying typing absolutely eats the Victory Bell. Gonna have to shield the Aerial Ace. I'm gonna throw one Magical Leaf and then the Leap Blade. That's gonna get the shield. I'm gonna have to double shield. Unfortunately, I wanted to try and catch an Aerial Ace, but no such luck. So I'm gonna throw one more and then the next Leap Blade. I know they need two more, so I'm gonna throw one and then try to catch, which we don't, but now in comes a Whiscash. Now you think this would be amazing, right? I could just put the Victory Bell back onto the Whiscash, but they are over farming a boat ton of energy here, enough to where even if I come in with that Victory Bell, they're just going to be able to get to the Mud Bomb, and Mud Bomb is going to absolutely destroy me. Mud Bomb is going to take out the Victory Bell, and I really have no way of farming this thing down before it gets to a Scald. So wing attacks are not going to do enough damage. Scald is going to be incoming, and this is going to be a left-right. Good night to the Charizard, unfortunately. It's going to be a good game, well played to my opponent. So hopping into the next matchup. Flygon, pretty neutral lead actually. Dragon Claw is gonna add up, but so is Leap Blade. You all gotta remember, Leap Blade is an absolutely busted move, doing like a ton of damage compared to a whole not a lot of energy. So they make a very nice catch, catching on the Tentacruel, but now I can just come in with my Skeleturge. I'm gonna throw 4 Incinerates there, which is quite a little bit unfortunate. I have to shield before my opponent, but I'm gonna just go straight for the Shadow Ball here. If they want to shield, that's quite fine by me, but if they don't, we get the knockout. So now I'm thinking they're low enough to where Disarming Voice is gonna be able to knock out, so I'm gonna throw 2 more Incinerates just to make sure I have the energy, and I know Skeleturge is gonna be winning CMP tie against that Tentacruel anyways, so again, winning CMP, this Disarming Voice is gonna knock out. See you later, Tentacruel. They come back in with the Flygon. I come back in the Victory Bell just to force them to throw energy. And now I know they're 5 off for their next Dragon Claw. So I come back in with the Charizard. 5. We got the CMP tie against the Flygon. And this Dragon Claw is going to be knocking out that Flygon. And it's an Ariados in the back. So really spicy tea by my opponent. Kind of what you get for playing in this like high elo range. But another Bastion lead. I mean, frig. How many Bastions did I see in this set? Like an absolute boatload. So I'm gonna farm up 8 or 7. Was that 7? I farmed up 7. Yeah, 4, 3. So I farmed up 7 Magical Leaves, which is a CMP tie for the Stone Edge or the Flamethrower, and they decide to hop into a Trevenant. I make a brutal mistake and not come into my Charizard, so I'm gonna call it this is just the Seed Bomb, which it is. My opponent, Big Bozo, play throwing the Seed Bomb. We survived that. They get knocked out by the Disarming Voice. Left, right, good night. Oh my gosh, how is, I don't even, we're gonna be able to make it to the Shadow Ball before we get knocked out, and which is absolutely amazing by me, because now we're gonna be able to get to a shield. Come back in with the Victory Bell. We're gonna throw 1 Magical Leaf and then the Leap Blade. This is gonna put them down to a range where it's not manageable by Charizard by any means, so I have to throw a shield up, and hopefully there's something in the back that my Charizard can deal with, and it is, there's the Annihilate. We throw the Leap Blade, perfect. Come back in with the Charizard. We're gonna get the full farm down, and they have a Shadow Ball locked and loaded, but they throw the Close Combat. Beautiful. Look at how much damage that does, by the way. Absolutely insane. We have the Dragon Claw to force them to shield, and then the Leap Blade to knock out. So left, right, good night to that Bastiodon, and Victory Bell is going to take that game. So hopping into the final matchup of the video, on a Lantern lead, which is quite good for us. They hop into an Altaria. I'm going to hop into my Skeleturge here, and I had no idea that Skeleturge wins the 2 shield scenario here versus Altaria. So we're gonna throw the first Disarming Voice. They no shield that, which is quite fine by me, and then I'm gonna throw 2 more Incinerates and the next Disarming Voice. I need 2 more Incinerates to get to the back-to-back here. Gonna shield up this move. I was really debating on it, but I'm like, okay, maybe I can get there. I'm really hoping I get there because that was a CMP tie, and I just need 2 more Incinerates here. So 1, 2, and we get there on 1 HP, allowing us to take switch advantage, which is going to allow my opponent to top left. That's going to be a good game, well played to my opponent, and it's going to be another 4-1 set. So again, thank you all so very much for watching. If you all liking the content, please hit that like button, comment if you want to see anything in the future, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Again, thank you all so very much for the 15,000 subscribers. It is so appreciated. I'm thankful for every single one of you, and again, join the team if you want. It really helps our channel and it is greatly appreciated, and we will see everybody in the next video. Bye bye.